Everyone watching on ITV and via live stream, and call the July 26, 2022 regular meeting to order with all board members present. Please note that the use of masks by the board members and those who are in the auditorium is required due to recent increases in COVID-19 case rates. Masks are available in the lobby. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Trustee Nepomuceno, please lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Right hand.
Thank you. I would like a motion to adopt today's agenda.
Moved.
Thank you, Trustee Beiser. Seconded by?
McQuarrie.
I hear McQuarrie and I see Basso, so it'll be McQuarrie, okay? Thank you. Let's vote on this, please. Start with Nepomuceno.
Aye.
Thank you. Quitoriano.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's do Beiser
Aye.
and McQuarrie.
Aye.
And all the others electronically, please, and that passes unanimously. Thank you. Mrs. Stoltz, would you please? Thank you.
Today's meeting of the Board of Education is a business meeting that is conducted in public. Board Bylaw 1025 sets the time limit for public comment on agenda items at 10 minutes per side, pro and con, or 20 minutes total. Speakers will be able to provide public testimony at the beginning of the appropriate agenda item or at the end of the meeting for non-agenda public comment. The list of public speakers is attached to agenda item B2. Please listen for your name to be called. Speakers are listed and called in the order received. When your name is called, please come to the podium to speak. Speakers participating via Zoom will be asked to unmute when their name is called. If you are unable to unmute yourself, we will call the next speaker. Zoom does not allow staff to access your personal device to unmute a speaker. Please follow along with the agenda so that you know when your item is coming up for discussion. If you would like to sign up for public comment, iPads are available in the back of the auditorium and in the lobby.
Thank you. Let us move to item C, student presentations, recognitions, and resolutions. You will present, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, President Dr. Whitehurst-Payne, and good evening, everyone live and those on Zoom. This evening, we'd like to recognize our employees who have served 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, and 5 years, and we have a video that is put together by our Human Resource Division that we'd like to show in recognition of our employees tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Are there any comments or questions from the board members? We do not have any speakers on that particular item. I'd just like to say congratulations to all of you and thank you for your service. A lot of hours, a lot of time, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. Let us move on now to item D, which is a report on A, closed session. Do we have anything?
We do not.
Thank you. Administrative assignments, Superintendent Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, President Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. This is a great evening where we get to announce the appointments that were made on July 11th, as well as those that were made today. So I want to begin with congratulating and welcoming Brendan Simon, Associate Principal at Dana Middle School, Haiti Zavala, Associate Principal at Mann Middle School, Andrea Pino, Principal at CPMA, or the Creative and Performing Arts Middle School, Valerie Jurado, Principal at Ivara Elementary, Andrea Vinson, Principal at iHigh Virtual Academy, Fred Hilgers, Principal at Madison High School, Anthony Vincent, Principal at Walter Porter Elementary School, and Keith Kuiper, Principal at Torrey Pines Elementary School, and these were appointees on July 11th. This evening, I have appointed the following: Mary Marrero, Associate Principal at Fay Elementary School, Nanika Williams, Associate Principal at Morris High, Kingsley Chow, Principal at Barnard Elementary, and Timothy Farson, Instructional Support Officer assigned to support the arts, specifically SCPA and also CPMA. He will remain as the principal at SCPA. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements, those names. There are no reports from ASB tonight, and let us move on now to the superintendent's information report. Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, President Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. This evening, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate, recap, and reaffirm our commitment to the amazing work that is happening over the summer in our Summer Level Up program, where we provide our students additional academic and enrichment opportunities and experiences. In terms of celebrating, this work takes a collective effort, and we recognize this, that extends from our staff to all of our educators, and it also includes 94 nonprofit organizations. These partnerships are what really allow San Diego Unified to give our students these wonderful experiences. For example, uncovering the creative arts, visual and media arts with the Cesar Chavez Service Club, learning about environmental issues, computer science and coding with the Elementary Institute of Science, attending after-school peer-to-peer counseling programs focusing on student mental health, and also receiving daily music lessons from programs like Guitar in the Classroom. Over 300 of our high school students are taking advantage of the San Diego Unified School District approved AP courses through the University of California Scout online program, allowing our students to earn dual credit. We honor and celebrate the dedication of all of our partners, our educators, our site staff, our Department of Extended Learning, who've put together an incredible program, and they continue to show up for our students. Recapping our program, this past week, we concluded our elementary and middle school academic programs with our summer experience. And at the end of this week, we'll conclude the high school academic program. Over 22,000 students have received an additional 5 to 6 weeks of academic instruction this summer. Over 22,000. I think that's an incredible job by everyone. And also happening this year, we're serving over 21,000 students through the enrichment programs. And of the 21,000 students, 62% of our students are considered our Tier 1 students, really where we put our emphasis in supporting our language learners, our students with disabilities, students who come from low income families, and also our family youth. I want to conclude by reaffirming our commitment to prioritize expanded learning opportunities. We need to focus our attention on what we know. And we know the state has budgeted an additional $3 billion into expanded learning programs. And this will require districts to implement the work that is happening during the academic year as well as the summer programs. And while this is new for the state, we're a couple years ahead, and very proud of that. And we've been leading this work before the adoption of our budget. So we should be very proud at the work that we've been able to do over the last couple of years. And many of us know that prime time programs, which have been a model for students in expanded learning opportunities during both the academic year and summer months, we are excited for the work ahead, and our expanded learning team will come back with a full 3 to 5 year plan outlining how we will be proceeding, and that will come back in September. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's really exciting to know that the students we were trying to reach, we have been able to reach a significant population of them who wanted additional support and needed that. Thank you, Dr. Jackson. And now let us move on to the board members, and we'll start with our student trustees this time. Leah Nepoti.
Thank you. So last Thursday, I had the privilege of visiting Food and Nutrition Services, where we discussed the importance of incorporating culturally inclusive and plant-forward, meaning vegan and vegetarian school lunch options, as well as discussing incorporating student input in the menu selection and piloting these meals at middle and high schools as early as this upcoming school year. I was especially impressed by current initiatives such as Love Food, Not Waste, where food is rescued and provided to local hunger relief organizations coordinated through their partnership with Feeding San Diego. And these organizations are then able to extend a meal to those facing food insecurity in and around our school community. So definitely visiting food services, learning about current initiatives and how we can incorporate more culturally inclusive and vegan and vegetarian options was a very inspirational experience. Thank you.
Thank you. How exciting. That's great. I think that more students are becoming vegetarian and vegan than we know. That's good. Thank you for following up on that. Let us now move over here.
Thank you. Along with Leah, I've had the privilege to start working and rather continuing the Student Advisory Board, working on that, trying to give students the voice that they need to kind of see the behind the curtains of the legislation that so much governs them. Of course, I've been continuing many of the research that I've done to try and push some of the changes and reforms that I think the school district could definitely improve on. And I'd also like to congratulate and thank the Pride group that played at the Pride Parade for showing the district support for the Pride movement. And they sounded great. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go upstairs. Trustee Beiser.
Hi, good evening. I believe we have a video that we're going to play showing San Diego Unified and the Pride Band in the San Diego Pride Parade, along with some pictures that I forwarded to staff. Hold on. Do we have that video, Marty?
Thank you.
So excited for all the instrumentation.
We welcome the San Diego Unified School District and the Office of Youth Advocacy. They're committed to supporting LGBTQIA+ students of all ages. We are happy to participate in this year's Pride Parade, they say. They have staff and students on board their colorful electric bus to show their solidarity and celebrate queer culture. Welcome San Diego Unified Superintendent Dr. Lamont Jackson and Maria Shembri.
One simple but brilliant trick to cool your home in 90 seconds.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you very much to the staff for putting together that great video, and Channel 10 also for their coverage. I'd like to thank all the parents and the staff and the students for participating and communicating to the San Diego community that we are a safe place for all of our students, and that we want to provide a safe learning environment so all of our students can thrive and achieve their full potential. Thanks a lot to Trustee Richard Barrera for walking in the Pride Parade with us. And also thank you for changing your travel plans so that you could also participate and be a part of the San Diego Unified contingent in the San Diego Pride Parade. Superintendent Lamont Jackson, when the leader is walking the walk, I think that sends a pretty clear message to all the students that we're behind them, and we will stand up to make sure that they're safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let us move on to Trustee Dr. McQuarrie.
Yeah, thank you very much. So congratulations to our seniors who will be graduating at the end of summer school. Thanks to the staff and students for another outstanding summer program, and best wishes to everyone for a safe and enjoyable summer break. I'm looking forward to August 29th and the start of a new school year.
Thank you. Trustee Barrera.
Just to reiterate, again, so exciting to hear the numbers and the description of our summer program from Superintendent Jackson. Incredible number of community partners. Seems like a double, at least, the number of students who participated this year in both Level Up and summer school. So just a great example of what we can do as a community when we come together. And also, it was just a great time to march in the Pride Parade with our students, our marching band, our bus. San Diego Unified made its presence felt. So,
Thank you. Vice President, Trustee Baza.
Thank you, Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. I'll continue the trend with regard to talking about summer learning by sharing information about the community tutoring program that we got started in Mira Mesa. This was during COVID, and out of that we have high school students at Mira Mesa High School that were very interested in continuing to extend that. And this summer, what happened was they were interested in volunteer opportunities working with the elementary school students, because we're trying to kind of bridge those community across schools so that the high school students can be, be role models for these young people, while also helping out the teachers, while also getting some of them interested, hopefully, in possibly becoming teachers themselves. So we had Dr. Jackson come out with me to Hickman Elementary in Mira Mesa, and about 40 high school students volunteered this summer for anywhere from the program was 5 weeks. Some of them were only going to help out for a week, ended up staying longer because they just really got connected to the program, which was exciting to see. And so we had about 40 high school students there that could have been sleeping in every day, actually got up in the morning, came out to the elementary school, were helping out in the classrooms, and it was wonderful for the teachers and for the students, and for the high school students and the elementary school students. Just all seem to really love it. And so we're hoping to extend that, hopefully some of that during the school year as well. So I was really pleased to see that. And also wanted to share that I was able to go out to Perkins Elementary, which is in downtown San Diego, to see the VAPA program that's going on this summer there with our VAPA board, foundation board. And if you ever get a chance to go on that campus, I know that's in Trustee Barrera's area, but the murals that they're doing on the walls, and it's just a beautiful campus. And so I was really, it was fantastic to see all that's going on there, the music and the art, and the across the board as far as the VAPA program is involved. Dance too, at that particular school was wonderful to see. So it was nice to bring our entire board, VAPA board, out to be able to see that, see what the funding is doing at our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to focus my remarks in two areas. First of all, as a former teacher, I would like to say thank you to all of the students to the staff, to the parents, to the administrators, and even community support for all of the hard work that you've done over the last 2.5 years of uncertainty. You've been through a lot. And Dr. Jackson and I were over at Porter School, and I was wondering, why couldn't we just combine some classes and release some teachers? Because they really need the time now to regroup, to get ready. You have a few weeks until school starts, and we always expect a lot from our teachers. But this is a time for them to regenerate, et cetera, because you're going to have another group of students, new challenges, and I want you to take a break. Go somewhere, do something, get away, regroup, and come back prepared to work in the fall. The other thing I really want to focus on tonight in my remarks relates to the Crawford community. It is to the students and the community at the Crawford School. On this past Saturday, I was at the Best Buy in Mission Valley, and in walked a student. And I said, this has to be a student somewhere, and I asked him, where was he a student? And of course, he said Crawford. And because he was tall, I asked him, was he a basketball player, and did he know the student who was missing? And he proceeded to share that they were both point guards, I think it is, or some kind of guards, and how he had worked extensively with the student and how he missed him, and just he wanted to know if I knew the student, and I shared that I shook his hand the night before he went missing. And his mother was just concerned that they just can't believe that he's gone, and I realized that that community is still suffering. So I'm offering the counselor there, Tim Shaw, said, why can't we do something at that school, like offering swimming or do something to honor his not being with us. And so I'm just offering a challenge to us to try to remember this student who made such an impact upon the students there, upon the community, and do something. I don't know exactly what it is, but whatever we can do, whether it's community-wise, school-wise, or joint partnership, or whatever we can do to help address the concerns. Because I realize if the mother's struggling, then her child is struggling, and other children are struggling. A principal I saw this year at the school at the Level Up program, he's struggling. I mean, folks are still struggling with this. And I want all of us to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, and to do what we can to help them to remember this child who was a beacon on their campus and a light. And with that, I say thank you for the time, and we move on. Thank you to item F, since we have no E items today. And I would like to have a motion to adopt the board consent agenda items F1 and F2.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Beiser. Second on that from, okay, Trustee Beiser. No public request, I don't believe, yes. Okay, let us vote on those. And we will begin with the students. Nepomuceno?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Quitoriano?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Dr. McQuarrie?
Aye.
Thank you. And Trustee Beiser?
Aye.
And the rest of us will vote electronically, and that passes unanimously. Thank you, with the student board members concurring. As we move now down to item G1 and G2, I'd like a motion on them, but please recognize we've received a request to modify item G2, and you have some comments on that.
Yes, staff have requested on item G2 to remove Administrative Regulation 6146.1 and Administrative Procedure 4771 from this item for action tonight. It will be revised and re-agendized at a later date.
Thank you. And the motion is from?
So moved as revised.
Thank you, Trustee Beiser. And the second, thank you, Doriana. Thank you. Okay. No requests on this item. Yes, no. I believe we do. Kyle Weinberg for G1, and then Isabella Millard on the same item. Okay. Not in attendance, okay. No Kyle, and what about Isabella Millard? Okay, let's hear from her. Thank you. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Isabella Millard, and I am a rising senior at La Jolla High School, as well as a co-chair of the Community Schools Advisory Committee. I would like to express my support for the request to convert our advisory committee to a steering committee. As a board-level advisory committee subject to the Brown Act, we faced obstacles this past school year, resulting in meeting cancellations or member absences. With the reconvening of our members as a community schools steering committee, we will continually facilitate, support, and refine the community school implementation process with as much member input as possible due to increased flexibility in meeting format and rules for participation. This change will also allow our democratic decision-making processes to reflect the views of our diverse committee as accurately as possible, as once again, the committee's meetings will be much more accessible for its own members. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
And thank you. Are there any questions or comments from board members on these items? If not, please vote, and that's Nepomuceno.
Aye.
Thank you. Kitoriano.
Aye.
Thank you. Dr. McCrary.
Aye.
Trustee Beiser. Beiser. We will move on that electronically, please, for the rest of us. So we have 4 out of the 5 voting aye, with the students concurring, and no vote from Beiser. Thank you. That passes. Let us now move to G3.
Sorry, I apologize. I stepped up the facilities. Sorry, President Whitehurst Payne.
Back that up. That passes unanimously with all trustees voting and students concurring. Thank you. Let us move now to item G3 through G6. Thank you, Trustee Barrera. And second on it? Thank you. Nepomuceno. Thank you. Getting it? Any public requests on G6? Yes. We have 2 speakers, Mel Brewer and Joy Viva. And they're both virtual. Mel, would you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Thank you. Please speak.
Thank you. I'm here to speak out against. Hello?
Hello, we hear you.
Hello? Okay.
Mel Brewer.
Policy. Let's talk about this over next people through. Yes. Hello?
We can hear you when you say hello, but the rest of it.
Not working. What about now? Can you hear me?
That's better. Thank you.
Okay. I'll try that again. So I'm here to talk about your mask policy. So mask studies provided by CDC are so weak that it's embarrassing that these studies that's contained. There are no double-blind placebo studies on masking children to prove it's effective in mitigating virus spread. There are hundreds of studies about the ineffectiveness of masks and the risk of masking. It's very unhygienic. Students trap bacteria in their mask from touching the outside of their mask and in common areas, and they don't change their dirty masks. They often wear them for days. Children breathe in that bacteria across their face for up to 8 hours a day, which makes them more susceptible to viruses. Masking causes lower oxygen levels, increased CO2, acne, skin problems, headaches, nausea, anxiety, depression, poor communication skills, and an inability to read facial features and antisocial behavior. It's difficult for school employees to recognize students when they are hurting the children and free their smiles, please. Our children are suffering from anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation at a much higher rate than COVID. Masking increases depressed feelings and anxiety, and when we are unable to connect with each other, a smile goes a long way. If you care about kids at all, please stop the COVID theater and drop the mask mandates. Thank you.
Thank you. We will hear the rest at the end. Let us move now to any questions or comments from board members. Otherwise, this is an item that only staff, that only board members elected by the public will vote on. So we'll go with Trustee Barrera. No, you'll do yours electronically. Beiser.
Aye.
And McCrary.
Aye.
And the rest of us electronically. That passes unanimously, and students did not vote on this, 5-0. Thank you. Okay. Item H1, which is the resolution to place a general obligation bond measure on the November 8th, 2022 general election ballot.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Beiser. Second on it by Barrera. Thank you. And no staff presentation. Superintendent Jackson, you want to make some brief remarks?
Thank you, President Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. Just as a reminder, on June 28th, the staff presented to the board an overview of the San Diego Student Safety, Health, and School Repair Measure to this board. And this new measure is designed so that it does not increase the current tax rate levied under the existing bond program. So I want to remind us of that important piece. This resolution includes the full text of the proposition and specific board measure language required by the County Office of Education and the County Register of Voters to be placed on the November 8th, 2022 ballot. Staff is here for any questions.
Thank you. Let's see, we have 4 in-person speakers and 3 virtual speakers. Couple of minutes each. Cody Peterson, Sarah Salutha, Byron Ware, Steve Pruitt. And the 3 virtuals are Demi Brown, Catherine Williams, and Palak Haneha. Let's go with the in-person. Thank you.
Here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Cody Pedersen. I'm a lifelong resident of San Diego, a San Diego Unified alumni. I also serve on the school site council and the site governance team of my children's elementary school in Subdistrict C. I'd like to express my strong support for the resolution before the board and the associated measure. In particular, I'd like to underline the necessity of substantial investments in universal transitional kindergarten facilities. Youth enrichment is not only essential for cognitive, emotional, and social development, it is a fundamental part of the continuum of childcare. And San Diego has a critical shortage of childcare. We're in a childcare crisis right now, which makes it all the more important to make those investments. Numerous studies have confirmed the extraordinary social return on investment of childhood education. And we have studies, actually, one extensively peer-reviewed study demonstrates that for every $1 of investment in childhood education, we see $7 to $12 of social return on investment. So that's really extraordinary. I'd also like to express support for capital investments in keeping our children safe, in career and technical education, in STEAM connectivity, dual enrollment, solar energy and battery storage, electrification of our bus fleet, in revitalizing our neighborhood schools, and finally, in joint use facilities that help put our schools back at the center of community life. I humbly ask this board to pass this resolution and place the San Diego Student Safety, Health, and School Repair Measure on the November 22 ballot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sarah Saluda, Byron Ware, Steve Pruitt, in that order.
Hi, everyone. I am here to express my support for the general obligation bond measure of San Diego Student Safety, Health, and School Repair Measure. My name is Sarah Saluda, and I have been a member of San Diego Cooperative Charter School for 18 years. I often describe it as my longest relationship, and I am really happy to be here tonight. Through those 18 years, we've had a variety of different facilities, ranging from a medical building in Hillcrest to our Linda Vista facility. We moved there happy to have a facility, but soon learned that it was lacking in many ways that our students needed. We were super thrilled to be a part of this measure and to have our facilities upgraded. We are in the first phase of our three-phase reconstruction, and I am happy to report to you that our school has benefited from this in many, many ways. Our students, families, and community have all benefited from this upgrade, and we were able to build facilities that supported our pedagogy, our constructivist pedagogy, and what we needed in a school. And I can't express to you how it has changed the lives of our students, our families, and our staff. And I would encourage you to consider moving forward with this and to know how much it means to the people of our community, to all of the students of San Diego. And I greatly appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable President and members of the school board, my name is Byron Ware. I'm a nearly lifelong San Diego resident, product of the school system here, served as a lifeguard lieutenant and member of the city council, and now I'm a community advocate in my quasi-retirement. I support the resolution before you for the bond measure, San Diego Student Safety, Health, and School Repair Measure. This comprehensive list of projects is absolutely critical to the future of the district. School safety, as we all know, is a top priority and should be. Health is especially important, particularly when it comes to joint use athletic and aquatic facilities, to maximize collaboration with the City of San Diego, the YMCA, and other groups to more efficiently use facilities. The facilities for school sports and exercise clearly benefit the students and the long-term lives they're going to lead well beyond their term here with us as students. Recent focus of prevention of drowning is going well in San Diego. We have the Prevent Drowning Foundation, which morphed out of the San Diego Junior Lifeguard Foundation, raises thousands of dollars a year to teach kids how to swim. We need more facilities. We need more pools to do that, as you all know. In addition, the Fire and Life Safety or Fire and Rescue Department, the Lifeguard Division, local YMCAs, we're all collaborating, and this year we received a generous grant from the County of San Diego to help fund those efforts. And if you all want to help out, you can jump with me off the OB Pier. The money goes to teach kids how to swim, and we have a fun time twice a year doing that, and it's a big fundraiser. Finally, I wanted to acknowledge the work of Lee Dolderoff and his team, who've done an outstanding job of implementing past bond measures. They're getting it done, and they have an excellent project staff, which you all should be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, and I don't think I can take you up on that challenge.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. So I'm going to come at this from a different perspective. I am very much in support of the bond measure. I'm a backpacker, and I was training last summer to hike Mount Whitney, which is a very arduous, very difficult task. And as we were preparing to organize this buddy I hike with, I turned to him and I said, "Ron, when's the best time to hike Mount Whitney?" And he said, 20 years ago, if you're as old as we are. And I think some people look at school funding, school projects, infrastructure as, boy, I wish we had the money 20 years ago when property was available and materials were cheaper and labor was cheaper and our dollar would spend further. But I'd argue that 20 years ago, we didn't know about the inequities that we have today. And we didn't know that we would be challenged with school safety like we are today. And we didn't know the demands we would have on technology to help our kids compete and to really thrive going forward. So I would actually say that right now is the best time to recognize the investments that need to be made and to make those investments, because we know how we can direct them, we know where we can invest in the kids and in the infrastructure and really make a difference in lives going forward. So rather than looking over the shoulder, I think it's really important to say we know where we are today, we know how we can make a difference going forward today, and let's go do that and make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let us now go to the online, the virtual. Demi Brown, Catherine Williams, and Halak. Demi, would you
Good
speak?
afternoon. Hi, I'm Demi Brown. I'm the Executive Director for Empower Language Academy. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this item tonight. As you may be aware, Empower has had a few different homes due to changing facilities needs over the years. We started in a Boys and Girls Club in 2014. Funding that will be provided in this bond will likely be the answer to allow Empower to have a permanent facility solution that will provide the services that our Linda Vista community needs to thrive. So for this reason, I support this item and ask for your approval to place the general obligation bond on the ballot in November. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to Catherine Williams.
Hi, I'm a parent of 4 children in San Diego Unified Elementary, Middle, and High Schools, and over the past decade. Our children and teens are in schools 5 days per week, and the safety of their school environment is paramount. And while science-based COVID mitigation measures are critical during a global pandemic, and of course continue to be key for maintaining our students' access to effective schooling this upcoming school year, this school measure would address additional important issues such as providing safe drinking water, removing asbestos, removing lead paint, and mitigating mold. And again, while clean air is critical for COVID mitigation, it is also important for other health concerns that impact our children's cognitive and social development. And as this pandemic has brought into sharp focus, science literacy is more important than ever. And this resolution would help to upgrade career, science, technology, engineering, and math classrooms. Our teachers and schools need essential upgraded tools in their classrooms in order to teach and invest in our next generations of scientists, physicians, researchers, and leaders. I would like to urge this board to please pass the school resolution.
Thank you. And our third virtual speaker, Halak Taneja.
Good evening. My name is Palak Taneja, and I work with Auric Harrington and Sutcliffe, which serves as bond counsel on behalf of the district. And Auric assisted the district in drafting the resolution. My colleagues, Eugene Clark Herrera and Lauren Herrera, are virtually in attendance in case there are any questions with respect to the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us now go to the board members. Any comments from any of our trustees, board members? If not, then we will vote.
President Whitehurst Payne, I did want to just make a couple remarks. I think one of the reasons why I'm supporting the bond, there's a couple real important reasons, and I want to thank all the speakers that articulated a lot of these great ideas. The first thing is, as a homeowner and a taxpayer, the thing that was really important to me is that taxes do not go up. Everybody's property taxes in San Diego will stay the same. They will not increase. And then the other benefits, obviously, are the improved facility needs of our schools, increasing our solar power production so that we as a school district can achieve our zero carbon emission goal of 2035. And third, it's really, really important that we make investments now before building costs increase even more further down the line. So we need to invest now to save money for taxpayers. This is the smart financial thing to do as our fiduciary responsibility to taxpayers. This is the right thing to do for the kids also. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Mike, is your hand up? Yes. We can't hear you.
Thank you. Got the toggle going. So this is an important bond issue, and our San Diego Unified School District has a proven track record in being trusted stewards of funds raised through prior bond measures. For all the years that we have expended bond money to improve our school facilities and grounds, we have received the highest rates possible from our auditors and for those who set our bond rates. District C, as well as all districts across the city, have greatly benefited by these improvements. Our schools are safer and our instructional environments are better. I look forward to the bond measure being passed. Look forward to the opportunity to make additional improvements that are so necessary to make sure that we have an instructional environments that prepare our students for college, career, and civic and global engagement. And I want to thank all the speakers who have spoken tonight in favor of this issue.
Thank you. Trustee Barrera.
Thank you, President Whitehurst-Payne. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that. The speakers tonight, I think, are reflective of a community that cares about our young people and is willing to invest in our young people. And that's been true here in San Diego for over a decade. The voters have consistently said yes to, at times, making sacrifice in order that our kids are able to learn in the facilities that they deserve to be learning in. And I agree with Trustees McQuarrie and Beiser that we should be proud of the work that we've done over the past decade. We've shown the taxpayers and the voters that we've delivered on exactly what we said we were going to do when we went out for previous bond measures. And I think all of us have been excited to see the facilities that have been built over the last several years at so many of our schools, really most of our school campuses. We've seen incredible improvements. But it's also true that the average age of our school facilities continues to be over 50 years old in this district. And so I think, you know, Leigh and Matthew could both describe that the experience of a student in our district is that on your campus, you will have access to some state-of-the-art buildings that have been recently modernized, but also buildings that, again, are 50, 60 years old. And that's, you know, that's the nature of our schools. And so we're saying, let's continue the work. Let's continue to get to the point that all of our facilities meet the needs of our students. And that's what this measure is about. And I think we're seeing from our community tonight that our community is ready to once again say yes to investing in our children.
Thank you. Leah?
Yes, thank you, Trustee Barrera. And I would also like to join my colleagues in applauding the bond measure, tonight's speakers, and especially applauding the school accessibility and code compliance upgrades included in the bond measure. One especially being the establishment of gender-neutral bathrooms, modernize and renovate physical education facilities, locker rooms, restrooms, playgrounds, and fields to comply with Title IX gender equity requirements. This is something that, as a student, I I know is incredibly important. Talking to my peers, this is something they deem necessary, not just something they want. It's a matter of safety. So seeing this on the bond measure was incredibly empowering, and students are here to support it as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Your thought on it in the meantime?
Thank you. I'd just like to kind of reiterate that so much of school social environment is defined by its physical environment. And by improving many of the resources that students have in their physical environment, it can really foster and create a beautiful, thriving school community that all of us want to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Vice President Baza. We're going to ask Lee to come forward, Lee Duggaroff, to come on forward.
Thank you, Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. I also wanted to extend that my support for this bill or this measure. In listening to all the information about it, I don't really see a downside in any way. We need to continue, as was mentioned, the good work that we're already doing. And also wanted to share, by going around to the district and just seeing some of the work that's already been done, just the excitement and the students and the staff of just being able to be proud of what's happening on their campuses. I know at one high school they had bungalows that were from World War II, so older than 50 years. I mean, come on. So, the fact that we are bringing everything up to standard for our students to be proud. We're already proud of our school district, but just to be proud also of the physical aspects of the school district, I think are so important. And not only for our students, but also for the entire community, because oftentimes our schools tend to be the heart of, a lot of different community events as well. And also from a security standpoint, I know that's been in the news a lot. We're updating there's a lot of security enhancements that we're going to be having at the schools, which also as a parent, I know is also important to a lot of people in our school community. So for all those reasons, I absolutely support this measure.
Thank you. And Mr. Lee Duggaroff.
Yeah, I apologize. We have bond counsel on the phone, and there's one minor typo that I'd like the board to, in modifying the approval of the resolution, note the change so that we can change it in the final language. But there are brackets around the $528 million that's allocated on a pro rata share for charter schools. If you could make a motion to approve the resolution, removing those brackets, so we could print that in the final version without the brackets, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So amended my motion.
Thank you, and the person who seconded? Okay, and Trustee Barrera did that also. Thank you. And I want to thank my colleagues for this. I'm really excited because a lot of times when folks get bonds, you don't see the results, but I see it all over the city. And just the excitement that we talked about at La Jolla Elementary School that time, even in La Jolla, they were excited to put that beam up, and all over the district. There's excitement. Crawford High School, we're waiting to open that. We're all excited about that new building. And throughout the district, Morse is in progress. It's just really exciting. I know you have a couple of schools coming online this year, and really excited about that. But it's been exciting, and I just want to say thank you to the voters, to the community for all of your support. We've tried to do a good job with upgrading our facilities, and I'm proud of the folks who've been involved in that. Thank you. With that, let us vote. Leah Nepomuceno.
Aye.
And student trustee over here,
Aye.
Liana. Aye. Let's see, Trustee McCrary.
Aye.
And Trustee Beiser.
Aye.
Rest of us are voting electronically, and that passes unanimously with the 2 student board members concurring. Thank you, and we look forward to going forth with this. Thank you. Let us now move to item H2, which I'd like a motion for.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Beiser, and was that a second from Barrera? I thought I saw your hand. Okay, maybe my eyes aren't doing well. Okay. We'll now open the public hearing on item H2. Have we received any requests on that one? Nada? Okay, we've not received any. With that, any questions or comments from the board members? No? Okay, then let us vote. Let's see, we'll start this time. This is an employment, so we only have staff, only the Patterson, no, Patterson's gone. It's only the elected board members.
The
but-
student trustees vote on this.
Yes, improvement. Okay, oh, they stuck Patterson in here. Okay, so you guys get the vote. Okay, good.
Aye.
Aye, okay, and Vitoriano?
Aye.
Aye, okay, and Beiser upstairs?
Aye.
Okay, and McQuarrie?
Aye.
Okay, and the rest of us are voting electronically. And that passes unanimously with the student board members concurring. Okay, that takes us to the superintendent's consent agenda. We have here items I4, I5, I6, I11, I14, and I48 withdrawn by staff. Are there any other changes? Otherwise, we'll just vote on this group. Do I have a motion? Thank you. Trustee Barrera, a second on this. Doriana, let's see, they should be able to vote. Yes, make the motion also.
Excluding I-17
But we need to exclude you guys from I-17, okay.
and 18.
17 and 18, okay, thank you. And with that, let's start with Vitoriano.
Aye, with the exception of items I-17 and I-18.
Thank you. Nepomuceno.
Aye, with the exception of items I-17 and I-18.
Thank you. Trustee Beiser.
Aye.
Thank you. McQuarrie.
Aye.
And electronic for the rest of us. And that passes unanimously with all of the students concurring. Thank you all. And that moves us, believe it or not, right to our non-agenda public testimony. And let's see, we have here 13 in person. Let's see, and 19 virtuals. So we'll deal with the in-persons first, 1 minute each for that many. Okay. Douglas Quaid, Quilla June, Sandra Appling, Rosemary Cruz, Stacy Sauls. Let's get those 5 first. 1 minute each. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Jackson. My name is Rosemary Cruz, the proud principal of Ross Elementary. It's going to be hard. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of my students, families, staff, and community at Ross Elementary. I was notified that there would be no change to our school counselor dilemma. I am respectfully asking that we find a way for her school counselor, Molly Williams, to remain at Ross. I contacted several people, including the superintendent's office, HR, all departments of special ed, counseling, youth in transition, the MTSS program for implementing Leader in Me across the district to see if we could be matched with another 0.2. I also asked finance to reduce the FTE so that the position could be matched with another site. All answers were no. Feeling helpless and hopeless as a leader and not having a positive outcome, knowing what is best for our students and the work we are doing to bring back students from COVID. Last time Chris Lovell came to a board meeting speaking on behalf of our students, he was a student who could not come to school. He cried every day and just couldn't do it. I left, can I continue or do I have to stop?
Thank you. Do you have something in writing you can submit
Yes,
to us as
I
well?
have the letter, but I'm asking on behalf of students and the work that we're doing at Ross. We're just beginning for the equity-based initiatives that you ask us to do. It's happening at Ross. And I respectfully, on behalf of our students and community, ask you for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. If you, we have, Marty, is this the document we have? Okay. All right, thank you.
Good evening, Board. My name's Stacy Sauls, and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Ross Elementary. And hopefully I'm not going to get as emotional as my principal has, because I could tell you that this is a pretty emotional, we've been here 3 or 4 times before, and my suggestion was, I'm going to read the letter that you have before you or was mailed to you. It was a letter mailed on July 18th. And this is from our counselor, Molly Williams. I'm writing to you to provide some additional perspective on the current struggle the Ross Elementary community is experiencing due to the possibility of losing the professional who has been their school counselor for the past 6 years. You've heard from students, parents, teachers, and now our principal regarding their concerns over this possible loss. And as their school counselor, I would like to share my perspective. Molly goes on to say, first, I want you to understand why we are in the midst of this current struggle. In the spring, the Ross SSC voted to increase our school counseling time from 3 to 4 days with the thought that I would be at Ross Elementary 0.8% of the time and at another school site 0.20% of the time.
Thank you. We have that document here, and
Okay.
we will read it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. This is Douglas Quaid. I had to go to the bathroom. Is this a 1 minute or 3 minutes?
Yes, 1 minute. We have.
Okay. Thank you for
30
seeing me. This is the third time I've been here. Mr. Michael McQuarrie. Haven't seen you since I've been here for 3 times. I don't know, maybe you're in China. But I am now with SoCal Parent Advocates. We advocate for parents around Southern California regarding the issues I'm going to speak to you about here. Let's start at the top. The National Education Association had a convention in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and apparently out of the 110 motions voted by them, only 5 were about academics. Since it's just 1 minute, I'm going to fast forward, because what we have is a startling thing in education. We have people here in this room, even other parents, they want to hide things from you. And I am addressing the people that are watching me right now. And this is who this resonates with. Maybe your parents, maybe your grandparents, maybe your future parents, but you need to stand up and you need to speak up and you need to vote these people out in November, because the education system wants to hide things from parents and they want to hijack your kids.
Thank you. Next speaker. Keila June and Sandra Appling. Let's go to the next group of 5. Audra, Pam, Carla, Heidi Snyder, and Danielle B. Those 5, just come forward. Just give us your name as you come.
Hi, my name is Pam, and it's glad to see all of you in person and to realize we are all people. The words spoken the other day by President Sharon Whitehurst Payne when interviewed on local news garnered national attention, and not even in the best way, other than it did bring attention to the school district. The words to children to not return to school if a child chooses to not wear a mask were a moronic, abhorrent, and an embarrassment to this community. These words can encourage truancy by some students and rob in-person education from all children. You know what you said. I won't waste my time and my minute. Does this board realize or care children entering their senior year in high school have never had a mandate-free school year? This is unforgivable, unscientific, and most importantly, cruel to children as they are groomed to comply. Stop the oppressive mask mandate and instead promote medical freedom and choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Next speaker.
Hello, I'm Heidi Snyder, and I've worked in the public schools for 20 years. I've worked at several different school districts, and I'm currently a school bus driver. And I am here to let you know that the mask is a horrible thing for the children, the staff, and it's really a hindrance. I see children, I work with special needs as well, and it also is against the law. If we may want to look into that, to have a special need, to deny them education if they're not wearing a mask. I've had teachers, I do field trips, and teachers are very struggling with wearing this mask all day. It's hindering glasses. I wear glasses. They wear glasses. It fogs up. They can't see proper. It's just not really a good idea. I promote our immune system. We need to give D3, zinc.
Thank
We
you.
need to give vitamins, not
Thank
masks
you.
that hinder our breathing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi. I'm a parent with 2 children in San Diego Unified School District. Ms. Sharon Whitehurst Payne, you are my district representative. And I'm here today because I was really offended by what you said regarding my child who has an IEP, basically saying, don't wear a mask, don't come to school. Where do you get the right to restrict free education for my child, especially who has IEP? He does horribly on Zoom. He needs to be in school to be able to learn and interact. So the board needs to stop the mandates. It's affecting children's health. It's affecting them as well as their school and their education. And I also want to mention the safety in our school. I just heard about that bond, street crosswalk safety, especially in your district, Ms. Sharon Whitehurst Payne. Crosswalk safety is horrible. The drivers don't stop. They don't see the students, especially coming to and from schools. The roads are horrible. The roads need to be, there needs to be a sign basically at the crosswalk saying children are crossing. It needs to be safer for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Refer that to the superintendent. School.
I use the name Audra, so it's quite interesting. The views and policies that this board has are very progressive, and it couldn't be more dangerous. The fact that you guys were having a maskless, engagement in that pride parade, and then you want to have children put a muzzle over their face, that's child abuse. And the fact that you guys think that you can sit here and practice medicine and tell children what to do for their health, that is not your avenue. Your avenue is education. And you're talking about safety. Well, I see that you have plenty of officers here, probably enough for all of the people here. When the children are in school, do you have officers like that on school grounds to protect them? Or is it right now to protect you guys? Because the virtual signaling that is going on with the mask is very dangerous as well. You guys are breaking the law. You're taking the civil rights of the children. That's a federal offense. 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242, conspiracy against rights and deprivation against rights under the color of law has a punishment of jail time. And if anybody is injured, the jail time is more. So I would walk very light-footed as you continue, because what you're doing is against the law.
Thank you. Next speaker. Let's go with the last 4 in person. Garrison Ham, Consuela, Marta Cosviel, and Tracy.
My name is Garrison Ham, and I chair the San Diego County Libertarian Party. I'm here to speak in opposition to the district's indoor mask mandates. Masking does not prevent the transmission of airborne disease, but it does offer a cheap facade of action in response to an illness that has a 99% survival rate. Your policy is a frantic reaction to an unnecessarily politicized issue, which will only stunt the intellectual, emotional, and academic development of children. This community expects rationality, composure, and political neutrality from its educators, an expectation that this body has approached with wanton disregard. I implore you to live up to the responsibility trusted in you, or to return to taxpayers the funding with which you have failed to use for the benefit of this community.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Consuelo. Truth does not mind being questioned. A lie does. Please stop saying trust the science. If you can't question it, it's not science, it's propaganda. Please stop thinking that watching the television news is your research. If you have accepted an experimental injection and still wear face masks, if you accepted an injection that was made at warp speed, you've done no research. You are the research. We are in the midst of the most largest experiment in human history. Conclusion of study is yet to be determined. There is no easy way to convey to society the harsh truth. So I guess you've been punked. We'll have to do.
Thank you. The next speaker, please. Next speaker. Marta Cosbiel and Tracy.
Hello, board members. I hold master's degree on molecular biology. I'm legal immigrant, and I read dozens of peer-reviewed papers that masks do not protect against COVID-19. And I would like to add that your actions putting back masks are racist, because any of those parents who could afford private schools, they will take their children to let them breathe. And you're just letting them sit and do harm. So please reconsider your actions. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more. Yes.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm just here because I can't believe that we're back to putting masks on our children. It's just shocking to me that you guys would do this again, even after all of the data that you're refusing to look at, and all of the parents, Ms. Payne I'm talking to too, all of the people, all of the information that you have at hand, that this is not helping. If you compare our area to any other area that didn't mask, the cases were the same. We're not stopping anything. We're hurting our children. I am totally against this. This cannot be happening for the fall. You need to reconsider. You need to allow the people that want to wear N95 to wear them, and the ones that don't want to wear it and want to breathe, they need to be allowed to. I also wanted on record that last fall, when we had the vaccine mandate being presented by you, you only allowed 20 of the 300 plus parents to speak. Only 20 got to. I was one of them, but a lot of people waited 4 or 5 hours. I believe that's against the rules, the law, I don't know. And also, lastly, I want the parents out there to know that you've been served already, and you each individually for these violations, and you need to really address these concerns.
Thank you.
There will be consequences. That's
And
it.
let us now
Thanks.
go to the virtual speakers. We'll call the first 5 online. Let me know if they're here. Oh, you have them already. Citizen Science, Citizen 72, Concerned Parent 10, Carrie Denise, and Danielle Stewart. I see Citizen 72. Can you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I would like to start by saying thank you to Board of Education and district leadership. Since the beginning of COVID, since San Diego Unified, has been following the science and taking all necessary protective measures to ensure health and safety of our children, our teachers, and our school community. By now, it should be clear that there cannot be education without health and safety, but here we are still trying to explain that these protective measures are necessary. Because of your rightful and scientific actions, our schools remained safe and they stayed open last year. And I kindly request the BOE to continue your scientific and safe approach in the coming school year. Please ensure that we have masking, testing, and any other protective measures as necessary, especially now when we got extremely contagious variants circulating, number of cases and hospitalizations are increasing, and everyone coming back from holidays in fall.
Thank you. Do we have another one of the group on from Citizen Science, Concerned Parent 10? Okay, I see you, Citizen Science. Would you unmute yourself? Thank you.
Hi, so thank you for letting me speak. So I'm the parent of an incoming 7th grader within San Diego Unified, and it's really important that you hear from people who actually live and have children within this district. I implore you to follow the recommendations of our health experts at UCSD, who actually possess an understanding of how disease transmission and mitigation efforts work, rather than the rantings of a loud yet small anti-vax, anti-mask, anti-testing, anti-science group of people, many of whom are out of state. Keep the mask mandate in place when rates are in the highest tier, as they are now, so that kids can go unmasked when the rates are low. And please also bring back the voluntary PCR testing sites for our students and have rapid tests available at schools this fall so that families can choose to see if their child is positive so they can stop them from spreading the disease to their classmates and to other people in our community, especially those who are high risk. Thank you.
Thank you. Concerned Parent 10. Do we have? Okay, unmute yourself, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm an educator and a parent of 2 SDUSD students. I'd like to start by saying thank you for your continued efforts to follow the science and to strive to keep SDSUSD students and employees safe. I strongly support continued COVID mitigation measures for the upcoming 2022 to 2023 school year. As we see increasing COVID fatigue, we are concurrently facing a greater need for implementing mitigations to prevent the transmission of the virus and the ensuing infections. Local experts are still imploring our community members to clean the indoor air, wear masks, test regularly, and get vaccinated. They're reminding us that the pandemic is not over, and we need to prevent infections because they increase the likelihood for worse variants. We also must protect our children, families, and community members from repeated infections to avoid increased risk of long-term health effects. Another great benefit of maintaining these mitigations to protect students.
Thank you. We have Carrie Denise online. If not, let's go to the next bunch here. Danielle Stewart, Kea Wood, Jennifer Burney, Kimberly Coffin, Christine Y., and Alexandra Youngs. Do we have any of those folks? Let's go on down. Andrea Lehman, Mel Brewer, John Bielecki, C. Taylor, Danielle Bleimeister, Beverly Mother, and Michael Brown.
Hi, I'm Kai Wood, and I just finished my 5th grade year in the San Diego Unified School District. And I would like to thank the board for reinstating the mask mandate. Studies have shown that masking has no negative effects. I looked it up. Not one person has suffocated or had any medical health troubles from using a simple mask. Masking is the price we need to pay to get ourselves out of this pandemic. About 93,450 deaths have been counted in California alone, and about 1 million in America in general. there are still 400 people dying of COVID every day in our country. I can say that, and I bet most people don't care because it's just a silly number, a silly statistic that people hear every day on the news. But just imagine that one of these deaths were your mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandparents, friend, or even you. I bet you'd be thinking differently. I know that many people against masking are confused about why we are trying to mandate masks for all, the argument being that this is a free country.
Thank you. Thank you, Takia. Let's see, do we have anyone else? Because we have one other still in person. Carla, you're here? Okay, Carrie came in. Okay, Carrie, would you just hold? We'll hear the speaker here. Yes. Carla.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Carrie Denise. My son Gregory attends Torrey Pines Elementary and just finished his kindergarten year and excitingly moving on to first grade very soon. Gregory was diagnosed with a brain and adrenal gland disease called adrenoleukodystrophy, also known as ALD, through California newborn screening after his birth in 2016. Gregory has blood work and a brain MRI every 6 months to monitor the disease. Males with the mutation have a 35 to 40% chance of developing childhood cerebral ALD, which breaks down the myelin sheath of the brain. Environmental factors can affect the progression. The other part of the disease is the potential of an adrenal crisis, and all males with the mutation develop adrenal insufficiency at some point in life. Because of Gregory's diagnosis and the risks associated with COVID, we take every precaution necessary to ensure his health and safety, as well as for all others in our community. Gregory was able to attend most of this past school year because of the amazing safety measures that were put in place to protect our children. He never once complained about wearing a mask. He knew it was protecting him, his.
Thank you. Would you just send us that note? Thank you. Yes, and we have Carla, right? Carla's here. Carla, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Carla. I'm the mother of 4 different children in the school district. 3 of them are at Toller Elementary. And according to the AAP, which is the American Association of Pediatrics, we know that 99.98% chance of survival rate for children in 46 states. Among the states reporting, there were children were 0.00 to 0.026% deaths in all of the U.S. So that means there is not a danger to children. If the adults choose to mask, if the adults choose to vaccinate, that's fine. But the children are being indoctrinated, and that is from a process that is dehumanizing them. You know, we need faces. We need to be able to look at each other, smile at one another, touch one another. And if your guys' practices are not enforcing that, then you're doing the opposite. We need you guys to bring it together. Stop talking about, you know, diseases and fear-mongering everybody. We're not afraid of this disease. We're not afraid of germs.
Thank you. And now, do we have any others online? Came online? Danielle Stewart. Yes, Danielle?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening. I just wanted to hop on really quickly and ask for our district to continue with mask mandates indoors, especially since this COVID is spiking right now. And I definitely think that it's important that our district continues on with keeping our children and our community safe. You know, it's not a decision that people are making for themselves, just for themselves individually. It's a decision that you're making for others, and it's not a right to catch and transmit a potentially fatal infection any more than it is to run a stop sign because you just feel like it. So, you know, we're a country that's founded on individual rights and freedom. However, public health is not a personal choice, and therefore the masking and all the mitigations that our district is putting into place into these schools is protecting our children. And I think that first and foremost is where we have got to focus.
Thank you, Danielle. Do we have any others from, okay, who's up next? Okay, Jennifer, please unmute yourself. You're up. Thank you.
Thanks for allowing the opportunity to speak. I'm a parent in the district, and I just want to start by expressing my gratitude to the board for following, for first constituting a scientific advisory committee and then following guidance and building in flexibility as the pandemic has worn on. I'd encourage the board to continue this approach. It's served us well. We're delighted that our kids have been able to stay in schools that are open, and just want to express my support for continued science-based measures. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have others? Okay. Okay, Kimberly Coffin, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Coffin. I have 2 children in the Language Academy, and I was calling to thank the board for their continued support of the science. And I also want to reiterate that public education is not a service that is provided to individual parents, but it's a service provided to the public and to our communities. And as a result, we have a responsibility through public education for safety and equity and equality of all children. And in a pandemic, that means that no one has the right to pass along a harmful virus to anybody else when we have proven mitigations. And we have experts in the community that I'm grateful for. And I think that we should not be listening to people who are, first of all, often not in our community and have an agenda of misrepresenting.
Thank you, Christine. Kimberly, we have Christine Y. is here. Please unmute yourself. Thank you. Christine Y. Unmute yourself. We're looking at you. Okay, we'll come back to you. Alexandra Youngs, is she here? Okay, Alexandra, please unmute yourself. What about Andrea Lehman? Mel Brewer? Mel is here. Okay, Mel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now. Thank you.
I got cut off last time, but I'm tired of it, and we're not a fringe group. We are a majority. We are district. I have a child with an IEP. It's terrible, and that's the vision. Mass family, it's hard. And I won't stop. I won't stop speaking out to stop about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe you spoke earlier on that topic, so thank you very much. What about John Bealey? No, C. Taylor? Daniel Blindmeister? No. Beverly Mother? John is here. Okay, John.
Hi, I'm the father of a 12-year-old daughter in the San Diego School District. We're in a surge. You've heard of parade of out-of-state shills and ringers presenting hysterical pseudoscience and fantasies of improbable harms in furtherance of fringe political positions. The research is midnight web searches, cable TV news, and Twitter rants. Don't listen. Public health is not a conspiracy. We've worn masks before and survived. We took them off when it was safe. We can put them on again for a spell until it's safe again. Maybe we need to do it different. Maybe special needs and IEP students have to have an exception. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we can have further voluntary PCR testing for students and staff. But really, this is not the big deal. This is not an existential crisis. This is not about the Constitution. This is about wearing masks for a few months. Thank you.
Thank you. C. Taylor? Yes, C. Taylor, unmute yourself, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
thank you.
I have 2 quick points about the mask policy. First, you need to change the policy from required to recommended to align with the CDC and San Diego County Health Department guidelines. San Diego Unified needs to have more faith that parents and staff are fully capable of making intelligent decisions and that could choose what's best. Second, if you decide to continue with forced masking, then at a minimum, you need to make waivers easy to get, because you have a lot of students and staff and parents with health conditions that shouldn't be masking. And you should also have people that rightly believe masks impact their learning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Danielle? Beverly Mother or Michael Brown?
We have Alexandra Youngs.
Okay, Alexandra Youngs, please unmute yourself. You're on. Alexandra Youngs, please unmute yourself. Alexandra Youngs, we see you. Please unmute yourself. Okay. Do we have any others?
Paul Hankins. Last speaker, Paul Hankins.
Hello, Paul Henkin. Masks are counterproductive and hazardous to our children. The main reason to send your kids to school is to learn, but mask wearing gets in the way. Kids with face masks will have language comprehension problems. Kids collect speech cues visually. Without seeing a real live face, they can't understand that person or, for example, tell whether the letter is a B or a P, or recognize mask teacher and vice versa. Masks are toxic. You breathe in the same crap you breathe out, plus whatever the material it emits. Kids have died and suffered ill effects from having to wear masks in PE. How are children supposed to develop social skills when they can't see each other's faces, sit or play together? And kids may not be able to talk about their medical problems to the school nurse in the same way as parents can use notes or grown-up speak.
Thank you. Lisa. Okay, we have Beverly Wood here in person, and Lisa Wood also. Is she online? Okay, good. Beverly. Oh.
Hi, good evening. I am just like, seriously, I have been championing for the children in the school for so long that have been muzzled and probed and taking tests and being used as guinea pigs. You've made an association with UC San Diego with the science panel early on. You have a lot invested with them. You have money coming down the pipeline. This is our children that you've used to harvest. We know that this mask is, and this masquerade is under EUA still, which cannot be mandated legally. You have no legal authority to mandate a mask. The mask you have on right now, there's holes all over them. I could stick a finger in. It's ridiculous. The children need to communicate. I have a child that was in UC San Diego. She's home. She couldn't do it. She's now also stressed because she's so isolated and not around peers. But she's not around peers when she was at school because you're masked. You're not getting to communicate with each other. The science is in. The children are not the drivers, and please don't teach them that they are a hazard and that they cannot be empowered. A child has a strong immune
Thank
system.
you.
We teach empowerment in school. When are you going to have critical
Do
thinking?
we have any other speakers? Are there any others online?
Christine Wise still there, but she didn't unmute.
Christine Weiss, we did not hear from you. Why? No. Are you ready to unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, we hear
This is
you.
Christine Youngs. Hello?
Hello, please speak.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I kept getting kicked out. I'm apologizing. Yes, I am a native San Diegan. I studied molecular biology during college, epidemiology as a graduate student of public health, and health and a constitutional law while pursuing a JD. I commend the school board for reinstating the indoor mask mandate to protect children, staff, families, and communities across San Diego. The skyrocketing spread of BA5 is being documented by scientists at UCSD every day. Today, a report was released about the BA5 viral load in wastewater increasing by an extraordinary degree. It is spiking.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that it for one more? Okay, we have Andrea Lehman. Thank you.
I'm here. Thank you. I am the parent of 3 kids in San Diego Unified. I want the board to listen to its actual constituents and not out-of-state political action committees. My PhD training is in health economics, and I work as an educator. I want mask mandates. Masks incontrovertibly work to reduce transmission. They keep schools open and students in attendance. I received as many as 50 close contact notices last year for my kids, and they never got COVID because they wore masks. They continue to wear them even after the mandate was lifted because they care about their health, their immunocompromised grandparents, and the health of others. I also want vaccine mandates. There are now vaccines available for all school-aged children. Speaking as a teacher and to your staff shortage, I quit. I will no longer work with unvaccinated children. The compensation is too low, the risk is too high, and the
No, excuse me. Excuse me, her time just ended. We were not disrespectful to you, and I think you owe them a courtesy to hear what they have to say also. With that, did you finish your point? Okay, thank you. Let us now move on. Any others? Did any others come on? Okay, thank you. Thank you for all of you who came and spoke and shared your concerns and your perspectives.
President Harris-Payne.
Let us now. Would you let us conduct our business? Thank you. Now, with that, we are finished and this meeting is adjourned. We will see you September 13th.